Typically in sales, all we look for is a decision maker, but if we really think about it, there's a lot of people who could influence a decision. And if we only go after the decision maker, we sometimes neglect people who might even have more of a pull or more weight on that decision than the decision maker. For example, mother raised us here in Springfield, 4 kids, 5-bedroom house, 2 stories, perfect for the family when we were kids. Now my mom is 70 years old. House is in disrepair because she's not Mr. Fix-It, obviously. And no one lived in our basement of that house for probably the last 10 years. So she was a perfect example of someone who needed an investor. So that's what I recommended is, this is the way to go because they solved these problems and we've got a problem here, right? By the way, so when I say I believe in this profession, then that it solves real problems. I believe in it so much that when it was time for me to find a solution, that's the first and only place I turned. So when that happened, I just want to describe to you the dynamic of that decision, okay? My mother is the only person whose name was on the title. So we would probably call her decision maker, correct? Let me explain the rest of the family. She came to me first because I'm the eldest son who's still in town. And she said, what do I do? And I said, I'll take control of this. I'll figure out what to do. I'll walk you through step by step. And she said, whatever you tell me to do, I will do. I'm done with this, okay? So number one, how much weight, do I have some weight on the decision? Let's even go a step further. Her big concern was, the house is too big, I can't take care of it, and I'm in retirement now and too much of my income is going to this house when I want to enjoy myself. Upkeep, money, stress. That was her motivation, okay? Let me explain my motivation. Every time a major repair popped up, guess who was getting pulled in? Me. Guess who was spending money? Me. Which I didn't mind, but oh my gosh, guess who might have minded in my family? My significant other. Stress on the marriage, right? Where do we need to help it? Where do we draw the line? It was tough. Pulled in one direction, pulled in the other. After going so many times, I didn't want that anymore. Now, my older brother, Paul, he lived in Phoenix. Called him and told him about the situation and just asked for his input. Paul's motivation, he left town, he left Springfield for a reason. No more family stuff. I got my own family. I don't want to be pulled into anything. I don't want it. Keep me out of it. Keep my name out of everything. That was his motivation to getting out of town. So his motivation was, I don't even want to be pulled into the conversation. He then turns around and calls me and says, John, take care of it. Anything you recommend, I'm going to stand behind. I know you'll do her right. That's his motivation. Younger brother, Jamie. My younger brother has some mental issues. He's a paranoid schizophrenic. Disabled for life, having medications, sees and hears things that aren't there. He lives with my mother. If anyone walks by the house, he thinks they are a spy. Delusional, okay? Very hard to get him to do anything at all and has big grandiose schemes of if anything changes, it's hard. And my mom feels the brunt of that because she lives with him and experiences these things and has to calm him down and all those things. Jamie, he just doesn't want change. He doesn't want to be uprooted and have his whole world turned upside down because whenever that happens, it's going to be chaos. Now there's another motivation for mom. I don't want to have to deal with Jamie. Let's go a step further. My sister's youngest in the family. She's got a heart of gold. Her big concern was, John, are you doing the right thing for mom? She was more worried for my mom than my mom was. She would call me and say, listen, mom's really worried, she's freaking out. And then when I talked to her, she said, I'm perfectly fine with whatever you do. Because my sister was more scared about the risk and the discomfort that my mom might have to feel than my mom was. So she was misleading me to try to get me to slow down and not do anything. Because she was scared of what risk and discomfort of the change. My mom didn't want to do anything with anyone or hear anything but take my recommendation and get a piece of paper over email when it was time to sign. So let's pause for a second. If someone had contacted my mom that wanted to buy the property, how big of an influence do you think my mom would have had? Do you think they would have even gotten through the door? Zero chance. all influencers making the decision maker only on paper.